of session, you can look it up and see, oh, what's flipped learning? You know, you're the generation, but already you are moving out of that range, and the new generation is coming to fill your, walk in your footsteps and fill your space. So you need to follow what's going on. Very soon you will see that there are lots and lots of new things that are very interesting and usable. There's also a lot of horrible stuff out there. I suggest, if it's a website with an org address or edu address, it's a good one. The com ones are trying to sell stuff, and anybody can open a com site. Edu is usually connected to a university, like this one here. It's the University of Nebraska-Lincoln Quick Tips for Teaching. This one is Washington University in St. Louis. Tips for teaching on the first day of class. Interesting, worth looking at. Okay, and I like Edutopia a lot. They have quite a few sections, and I think most of them make sense. They're not too long. These are not super academic essays. They are just tips, things you can do, you should do, ideas. Here, 5 ways to give your students more voice and choice. Okay? This brings us to being a good teacher, a great teacher if possible. I said great teacher because if you aim high and if you come as close as possible, that's good. That's good. We're not going to aim low. It's very important how you set your goals. There was a piece of research conducted at MIT, I think. And this teacher was given a list of kids' names from her class, and she was told that these kids had scored the highest in the whatever exam. So this teacher had this list of kids, and whenever they observed her and they did they filmed her classes and whatever, and from all the observation they found that these kids were selected to give answers more. When they couldn't answer the question, the teacher gave them more, the wait time was longer. When they gave a silly answer, the teacher said, you're joking, and didn't take it seriously or help the student. The teacher's attitude, in other words, was different. Okay? And then at the end of the term, the teacher was told that there was no such test. These were not students who had scored high. It was just a little experiment that they were conducting. And these kids that were on the list, they all got very high grades and passed. Not because the teacher gave them high grades, but because the teacher showed them that she expected more from them. And she trusted them. So the kids automatically worked harder and they were more successful. And this teacher didn't believe, I think it was a woman, she didn't believe the researchers that these kids were not high scorers on the exam. They said these were randomly selected names. We just wanted to see how your attitude affects their performance. And it affected the performance positively. So always tell your students that you expect them to do much better. You can do this. You are a good class. I expect you to be very successful. In a few years you will kind of attitude. It really lifts the spirits, and I don't know, human psychology is interesting. Okay. Somebody said the teacher was unwilling. You did. Yeah. I think if you're passionate and if you love teaching, you've already won most of the race. Okay? This is a good time in your lives to think. Think. Do you really want to become a teacher? You still have lots of options. I mean, you're being trained, you've been taking courses, but you still have options. If you're going to do this with your little finger like that, without energy, unwilling, it's no good. Now, you're going to be given a class of 25, 30, 35, 40 kids, and your job is to put the virus in this class so that these kids will want to learn. Turkey needs educated people. We don't need more vegetables. We have enough vegetables who are just floating around expensive schools and have a fancy diploma, but when you scratch under the surface, nothing. All right? We don't want that kind of life. Your future depends on these kids. Think about that. So, do you want people, what kind of people do you want in your future when you are middle-aged? Think about that and decide. Maybe this is not a job for me. If you are passionate about teaching and if you love it, you're in the right job. Low pay, wonderful rewards. I mean, right after this is finished, I'm going to meet one of my students from 2010. He sent me a message. He said, I'm in Ankara, I want to see you. İşte, that's it. That's it. That's it. Yeah, I can die now. I mean, honestly, this is wonderful, not to be forgotten. After 4 years of an interesting life as a student, this kid wants to see me. You know, I'm honored. I'm honored. So that's teaching. Hard work. Wasn't prepared, one of you said. Hard work. Read papers, read on theory, find out what's going on in the world. Okay. Feedback. Like I said, students can sit there quietly, nicely, politely, but you don't know what's going on in their heads. Collect anonymous feedback from your classes regularly. Every week. Every time you do an activity and you're not sure how it went, did it go well, not so good, just a simple piece of paper and make them fold it into 3, like this, and then you can say, put a smiley face here, put an unhappy face here, put an exclamation point here. In the happy face, they write what they liked about today. Unhappy face, what they didn't like today. And this one here, what should I do about this unhappiness? What can I do? How can I change this unhappiness? And collect these. Don't walk around as they are writing, because some of them are writing with a red pen, green pen. If possible, you provide the paper, you know, from the photocopy room, the bad paper. This side is used. It's okay, because it's nothing important. Don't walk around. Put a chair in the middle, or say, put your papers here and let them put their papers face down. Don't look. And when you collect them, mix them up so that they can see. You are giving them the message, I want to know what you are thinking. I don't care who said it. All right? I know some teachers who used to come around, walk around as we are writing. You know, and I hated it because my handwriting is a giveaway anyway. They recognize me from my handwriting. But, you know, I didn't want the teacher to see what I was writing. I mean, if this is honest feedback, you want to do it alone. You don't want the teacher to know. And if the teacher is going to know, then she might say, this one here, she wrote, There are some vindictive teachers like that. So you're not going to be one of them, but give the message, I care for your message, I don't care about who wrote it. And apply what is said. How many times in a department, in a school, have they given a questionnaire and then nothing happened? You know, who's going to write an answer the next time? I'm not. I answered and nothing happened. Why should I answer again? You do your own questionnaire. That's my attitude. Have a clear purpose. Tell your students what your purpose is. Plan your lessons. I'll suggest a lesson plan if we have time. Always look for information and knowledge. The British Council, INGATE, lots and lots of other sites have free courses, online webinars, online courses which are free. You don't have to pay money. Please be interested. Please participate. Try to learn more. What you know is an excellent start, but it's not enough, I guarantee. Be professional. You are not people who bari öğretmen olayım kind of people. You are teachers because you want to be teachers. That time has changed. But what do lawyers do? They have a bar. What do the lawyer's bar? I don't mean drinking bar. I mean, you know, the bottle kind of bar. Professionals have their associations or whatever. I would strongly suggest at least go look at INGATE's webpage. If you want to join as a member, join as a member. Be a part of the profession. You are a professional. Okay? And when you are planning a lesson, make sure that you are thinking 2 or 3 times, if I do this activity, what else can I do so that it's guaranteed that my little whatever, you know, with the virus in the computer and the pen, will also participate. Okay? So, okay. Let's see, what time? We're coming to the end. What would you like? Would you like to look at, we can do one thing. I think this is pretty intense so far. So let's do one thing. Would you like to look at the lesson plan or look at an activity and see how it works? An activity. If you want, I can show you my lesson plan, if it works. It's a complicated lesson plan. You can ask for it by email. The parts are quite open, easy to understand. It just takes time. Please write a lesson plan. In my first year, our sofas and couches in our living room learned a lot of English because I wrote a lesson plan and then I did all my talking to the couches and chairs and tables. This session, I tried to prepare like that too. That's my style, but still, I mean, make a lesson plan as detailed as possible in the first year, and then slowly you will learn how to take the shortcut. But spend that time. It's going to take you hours, but it will be well worth it because it will work in class. If you just walk in lie alone and trust your knowledge and whatever, and just go by the book, it won't work. It will seem to work, but it won't work. Okay. Let me show you something that seems to work. I mean, I do this with my university students, so you can. It's just the contents that will have to change. So what you do is you pick 6 or 7 categories. All right. I did this with my beginners, and the categories were something like winter, furniture, and of course any kind of stupid, crazy category that you like. Words with an S, beginning with an S, ending with a G, ending with ing, whatever. You know, you can do whatever category you like. Weather. Okay? So once I set my 6, 7 categories like this, the next step is Googling the images. When I found the images, then I sized them to 5 by 5, this size. All right, so pictures like this. Not in color, doesn't matter because it's activity enough. If you have the money, you can have a color printout taken and you reuse your activity. Some of them will be lost, I guarantee, but color, of course, is much better. One set per pair. So you're going to have several pictures here. You need at least, let me say, 15, 16, 17 per pair. Okay? And a tic-tac-toe grid. Students can draw this quickly on a piece of paper. It has to be a big grid because they're going to put the picture on it. Okay? So it can't be a tiny little one. They have to use a big one. Here's the grid. Here are the pictures. So each pair receives a set like this. Okay? And then you need to bring some rewards. Rewards always work. Even if it is paper clips, you know, they have these wonderful, colorful paper clips or tangerines, and they can share a tangerine, the winners. You know, it doesn't have to be anything expensive. If you forget the reward, one of the free rewards is, let's say this pair won the competition. Everybody else has to stay sit. You stand up and applaud. Give them a standing ovation. All right? They hate it. They don't want to stand up or these two will stand here and everybody has to come by and shake their hand and say, congratulations. Congratulate. They hate it. They hate good. Because next time when we play, they will have more motivation. Okay, the idea is to challenge them. In your small classes, in your classes with young learners, you may not want the kids moving around too much, so standing up and applauding the winners is fine enough. Something tangible is even better. And what happens is, as you know, tic-tac-toe, so pairs play this, so it's my turn. I get half of the pictures, you get half of the pictures, we don't know what we got, and we turn them around, and I put one down, and then my partner puts one down, just like with the words, you know, just like with the X's and knots. The idea is, when you have three, including your partner's picture, doesn't have to be your pictures only, if you can connect them in some way, and justify and say, for example, sailing, skiing, and sofa. They seem unrelated. Sofa is the odd one, but they're all words starting with S. So if you create the category, and you as the teacher have your categories, but the students will recognize, of course, the winter category, the sports category, but they can create any category they like, as long as they say, sailing, skiing, and sofa, I got a line, because they are all words starting with S, that's fine, that's good. If there's a misunderstanding, they call the teacher, and the teacher comes around. This is very creative. This sofa person is probably a right brain person. Okay, or you can have apples, leaves, and grass. Things that are found outside. Things from nature. Things that can be green. Model. Can be green. May be green. Yeah, good. What do we care? I mean, I want them to use English. I want them to like it, and I want them to get results. So that's the picture tic-tac-toe. What do you think? What problems can you see? I skipped a stage. They receive a bunch of pictures and they say, one for you, one for me, and they divide them up. And then they turn them around, and Kısmet, you have these pictures, and Kısmet, I have these pictures. And then I don't know, I just take one and put it down on the square. And then you put that one down, and then we make sure we don't have, it's got mixed up. And I put one down here, but I don't see any connection, so I'm going to put it somewhere else. As soon as I can connect the two with something, I'm going to put it down and say, got it, I got three actions. Three actions, three sports, three winter things, three clothing items. Yeah, it depends. But you're not looking for them to come up with your categories. You just have the categories in case it doesn't work. So you say, well, you know, some of the categories are winter, and set them up for success. Okay, and then tell them. One thing I didn't tell you is, before I start, I want my students to speak English. It's very hard in a monolingual class, almost monolingual class, to get two people, two Turks, to talk English to each other. So one of the ways probably is, I do the activity at home myself. I play the A role, I play the B role, to see what the minimal language will be. I have a chair. What else could it be? And I try to think up sentences, and then I elicit these from the students, or I just write them on the board, and I say, you can start by saying, I'm putting down a chair. I have a chair. Here is a chair. Maybe this is a chair. Okay. And then the next one say, oh, I have a something. And then this is a line. This is a diagonal line, because these are three words starting with S, three winter words, three nature words, whatever. So I prepare them for the language. I don't want them to speak Turkish, because when they play games, they want to speak Turkish. Any other things problems you can think of? Would any student not want to play? No. I mean, with adults, young adults like yourselves, younger than you, it worked. I mean, it looks childish, but it worked. It works. They love it. Kids will love it too. If your pictures are clear, and in fact, if you can get colorful pictures, it will work even better. Okay. is here we have the objectives, falan falan, the steps, and the warm-up, how long it will take, what I will use, what I will do, and here the actual language output that I expect. My language output, I mean this looks very small. I use these huge harita metot defteri kind of notebooks, sideways, so that I can fit in. And in some cases I staple extra paper on the side and flip it over because I want to have all the vocabulary there. I don't want to have to remember what was the other word. There was one more word, or forget a word. In our system, we have to make sure we teach everything that's on the program. Otherwise, the students get penalized on a test. So here, this would be much bigger. This is just to show you and give you an idea. Here, I will write exactly what kind of instructions I will give. Because I want them to understand, and then I will reflect back the instructions. Okay, so what are we doing before we start? First, and then, what was it? What did she say? I didn't understand. Say that again. So, first, and then, and then, and then, and then. Take your time to check the instructions. Did you understand? They will say yes. How do you know? Okay, they will be nice and say yes. Maybe they didn't understand. So when they're reflecting back the instructions, you will see that something wasn't clear. So you don't have to say, stop, just a minute in the middle of the activity. Wait. That's horrible. So before they start, make sure they know what they're doing. To guarantee that, I would suggest in your lesson plan, write your instructions down. Plan them. Oni? Okay, show me my email. Yeah, yours original. Okay. And remember I said we have to be a great teacher is professional. This is the INGET webpage. Please visit. If you're not a member, you can't see the newest newsletter, but you can see the old ones. Please go into the newsletters. Please click on the older ones and look at them, because I'm getting people who attend conferences to write summaries of activities that teachers can use in their classes. Okay? And so you will get lots of ideas here. The British Council is another good website. The British Council has lots and lots of resources. We have too. I mean, I'm really trying hard. Right here on the right, you can see useful links. That's a site I try to keep very active as much as I can. You will see classified, grouped links. Maybe you can use some of them. Also, where is it? Class activities. It's limited. It's not as rich as we would like it to be, but there are class activities there. Those are not open to non-members, but if you send me an email, I will give you a temporary password and you can go in and have a look. If you like what you see, it's just 20 liras a year to join again. At this point, you're students, you don't need to worry. Just send me an email and I'll send you a temporary password. We won't tell the yönetim kurulu that we're doing that. It's okay, and you can have a look. So the newsletter, News Online, I strongly advise go in and have a look. There's a table of contents and you can see what's in it. And that brings us to the end. So she says, I channeled John Dewey. He says, if you want to be a good teacher, don't teach reading and writing, teach students. Which is, I think, a clever way. Okay. Well, I thank you very much. We lost one person. That chair is empty now, but other than that, yay, okay. Any questions? Anything you would like to comment on? Yes?
What about the teacher who has dangling toys?
I forgot. Well, I told her the dangling toilet thing. I thought she shouldn't walk in like that. And I said, you need to tone down. You speak like this as much as possible. Because when she tried to do that, she sounded a little bit like she had a squeaky voice, like that typical mother noise, or voice, kind of voice. I mean, 4 hours every day, 5 days a week.
Was she?
She became nicely. I said, really, you have to do something because these kids are mental kids. They worked hard. You don't want them to curse you or your family or your mother and stuff like that. Okay, well, I wish you all the best in your future lives. Anytime you feel you want to chat with me, not chat, but send me a message. Please don't hesitate. Send me an email. Remind yourselves to me. Say, I was in your session because I won't know your name. If you have any problems, questions, maybe, I don't guarantee anything, but maybe, it's good to write to somebody. And when you become a teacher and you need something, don't hesitate to network. All right? Keep a list, class list, email each other, stay in touch. It's so nice to hear from a friend who's experiencing a similar problem. You're not alone. That feeling is wonderful. Okay? I wish you good luck, and I wish you good students, and have fun teaching. It's a great job. It's a great profession.